What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Center Beacon. In this episode, we are going to take a look at the flamethrower Scorpion, igniters and blaze on the Scorpion. Basically, we're doing this because I have exhausted all other, practical builds for the Scorpion's ability. So I haven't messed with the flamethrowers on this thing yet. So we're going to take a look at how they perform. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison with the Storm as kind of our baseline example of a weapon that I feel really suits the Scorpion's ability, and that's obviously the Storms. You could do Gust or Halo, but a burst damage weapon really suits the ability of the Scorpion. The other reason we're doing this video is because with the impending balance on the test server of the Storm weapons, I'm kind of concerned about what we're going to have to use on bots like the Scorpion that will be effective. So I've run a lot of other builds on the Scorpion, and I'll link to those videos in this one so you can take a look for yourself. So if they do put these nerfs into place on the Storms, you can at least look at those videos and kind of get an idea of something else you might have in your inventory that will suit the Scorpion's ability. Okay, so we'll do our quick side-by-side comparison here. I think obviously with a weapon like the Storm build, there isn't really going to be too much of a comparison, but the burst damage on the igniters and blaze setup was kind of surprising, but still not quite as overwhelming as the Storm. The flamethrowers are much more of a consistent output of damage across a span of time. However, that doesn't necessarily suit the robot's ability, which is why the Storm nerf or potential Storm nerf is really concerning to me, because I really feel that that is the preeminent weapon to run on this robot. It was bothersome because I think in the notes on the test server, they said something to the effect of the Storms were overperforming on robots like the Ravana and the Scorpion, and I don't really think that's due to the weapons themselves, but maybe the abilities of the robots. So I think that a better way to go would have the robots' abilities looked at, either cooldown timers or the duration that the ability lasts for, rather than nerfing a weapon for a second time that is really going to kind of take it out of, I think, contention to really be practical for anything. If the Storms get hit too hard again, you're basically going to end up with a really inaccurate Terran. The other thing that concerns me on that too is if that is going to be the model moving forward, people are just going to switch to like cryos or whatever else is effective, energy shotguns. And then I worry that, will the data show that those weapons are now overperforming relative to other weapons in that class because, again, of the robot's abilities, not necessarily what the weapon does. So I'm hoping we can give them some good feedback on test server that perhaps this is not the way to go on Storms. Overall, I found the gameplay to be kind of frustrating with the flamethrowers because I still don't think they're performing like they used to prior to getting messed up with the 6.0, 6.2, whatever it was. Some update kind of broke flamethrowers, kind of broke cryos, kind of broke rockets in general, I feel. So gameplay was not that rewarding with this weapon, with this robot at least. I'm also not the best when it comes to aiming, but unless you're point blank range, kind of like what you're seeing in some of these clips, there's almost no point in using these things beyond, say, 100 meters. If you get dropped on a big map like this, don't run this thing first. It's terrible. You're going to inevitably run up against guys like this dude with the fluxes or this guy with the dragoons. Super annoying. These guys really need to think about their life choices. So if you're running solo, which I never recommend, run your ranged first. Clear these dudes out and then torture people with a brawler or a close-in assassin bot like this thing. If you drop in on like Dead City or something, then go for it by all means. I had pretty awful luck getting these clips. I kept getting dropped on the largest maps in the game, so not real suited to what I was trying to demonstrate, but that's okay, we'll get through it. I think some of the skill changes we talked about are paying off. I put in Wonder Worker in place of something else, and I think it's really paying dividends because you can see in some of these clips where I activate my ability after getting my face torn off, and I'm getting a lot of that health back. You think like, oh, you're out of the fight, but between the mechanic, if you want to run Adamant mechanic, and then if you have Wonder Worker on top of it, every time I blink in and out, I'm getting that bonus heal. It's just really a nice ability to have for when your assassination attempt does not go as planned and you have to get out of there and get some bonus healing in the process. The Scorpion was absolutely made for maps like Moon and Valley. When you drop in on those maps, definitely launch your Scorpion first. It feels like you're the killer in one of those horror movies, like you're Jason stalking the woods, and the hapless, scantily clad campers are aware of your presence there in their cabin setting, but are somehow always surprised to see you. That's what playing Scorpion on these kind of maps feels like. This is where you want to be. in your Scorpion on Moon. I love operating out of this top center portion of the middle beacon. You can basically access the entire map. You got plenty of cover, and you can just reach everyone and everything with this thing. Really works well. If I had had the storms in this setup, it really would have been murderous compared to the flamethrowers, but I did my best with these flamethrowers. Yep, that guy took a while for him to figure it out and just zip back as soon as he realizes what's going on. I hide in my little Scorpion hidey hole. It's not a scorpion, but like a spider. Like if you guys ever see that trapdoor spider thing, he builds like a little layer, a little hole in the ground, and it has like a lid that he builds, and then he pops out and he grabs his prey. That's exactly what you're doing with this thing on Moon Map. Only on the center beacon are you going to get nature lessons like that about arachnids and things, while getting to watch robots be played and slayed. Zipping in and out. Can't get me, fools. That's rude of me. These guys with the Ao Junes, I think there ended up being like a couple on this part of the map, and man, they came at me so hard. Oh, there it is. Oh, haha. Ooh, they super don't like me being there. I shall retreat. I shall flee from my lair. They chased me right out of my little hidey hole. Gotta watch out for those guys. The Ao June is the natural enemy of the Scorpion. You can see that healing constantly running, just constantly bringing me back, keeping me in the fight. Necessity on this thing. Everything's a Ravana nowadays. I don't know why I even translocated in on that thing. It's obvious. I'd tell you to identify what you zip in on with this thing and use your ability on, but you guys know that. It's not like, 19 pro tips on how to, like, not be a moron. But, yeah, it really... I have a bad habit of finding every Ravana on the map, which is probably the #1 robot you don't want to translocate in on and backstab with this thing. But that said, if you play it intelligently, I kill Ravanas all the time in this thing. Some people will be like, oh, this thing is not meta, and it's not a, frontline bot. And it's definitely, it's not a brawler, it's an assassin, like I've said in previous videos. But if you have it set up correctly, you play it intelligently, you can take Ravanas out. You just have to be methodical and patient. Wait for those abilities to be done. Spy on these dudes. Wait for them to be finished. And once their abilities are finished, then go in and backstab and take care of them. So here's Valley. Another great example of a map with which to prey upon the hapless campers. The aforementioned hapless campers with your Scorpion. And some of these clips, like, they're a little slow, but, like, I really want to pick my targets. See, I chose that guy because he was in the rear. He was the rearmost dude they had, so nobody's going to get me in, like, an Oreo sandwich where I'm the filling. You don't want that. So, if you play it impatiently, which I will also do in this clip, and you kind of get in there and their spawn's right there, you'll kind of get torn up. So, I like to kind of wait, let the abilities recycle. Something I didn't mention earlier, I'm running Death Mark on this just for fun. I'm just practicing, hitting that Death Mark. You can hit it while your ability is activating, and that way you maximize, the timer on that thing. But I tried Death Mark. I don't know. With this weapon build, it wasn't the greatest. Now, if you were doing Cryos or Storms or something, it probably would have been a lot more effective, but I just threw it on there for fun. It times nicely with the ability cooldown. So that was nice. Now here's an example of me being stupid where I'm going to start taking fire immediately here from my left flank, because that's their spawn. But I was getting a little impatient, I wanted to get in here and murder some campers. But didn't really do the best job of it that I could have, not being my best Jason. In this clip here in a second, when I lose this thing, I'm going to run the Storm Scorpion just so you can kind of see the comparison. The robot, not necessarily the flamethrowers. And here's me getting Scorpioned. So, alright. Alright, sir. We got something for that AWS, as we say. So what I like to do with this thing is I'll just go find that guy again, target him, and I'll be super patient. I will close the distance, get within range, using all of my deadly abilities, and then I will make this guy go away. He went to Robot Heaven, and I went to Sizzler. The Death Mark probably helped me out there, so that was nice. On a build like this, I feel like with the burst damage, that extra 20% you're getting is definitely in your favor. The flamethrowers, I just don't like for this robot overall, if you couldn't already tell. I know it looks like through my masterful play that I'm winning this game, but I assure you, I do not win this game. This is one of those where you're like, all right, guys, let's go finish this thing off. Guys. They just totally disappeared on me. I don't know what happened. Maybe their moms called them in to do homework or something. So, bad on my team, BM, BG, shame. Let's see if in the next 15 seconds or so I can find someone else to make feel bad about themselves. Gotta be patient in this thing. You're a hunter, remember. You're an assassin. You're not a brawler. Couple more seconds and I think I have a victim. Oh yeah. Good day to you, sir! Oh, Goldie has a friend. My bad. Oh, I got him too. All right. Okay. That's all the time I have. Totally out of time. Doing a giveaway. I will link to it. I will put something you can click on with your magic fingers. That came out wrong. I will put something that you can click on just normally, and you can go to my video that is a giveaway, and you could possibly win one of 50 atomizers. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you next time at the Center Beacon.